Oh my God. Check, check, 1, 2. This is why we test. This is why we test. Okay. And there we go. All right, so I found my problem and why people were probably like, what is going on? There we go. Yes, so this is why, again, this is why I test. This is again and again why I test. So OBS likes to mute music and sounds when you first set it up. So again, this is why you always want to do your first live stream as a beta test. And it looks like things are working. So what I do like is the audio seems to be working. All my technical things are taken care of. People seem to be seeing. And more importantly, my stream seems to be strong. I was doing 7 Mbps, which is not the strongest of YouTube's compression and everything, but it was something to test it, and it looks like my connection's really strong. I am using a wired connection, so that probably helps. Okay, so if you are trying to watch this in the show notes, I'm hoping it'll let me trim it down in the studio once this live stream is over, because I really need to do that. But just to get started, okay, so let's talk about Magic for a minute. So I love Magic the Gathering, I love Arena, and but I have some issues with Arena, which we'll get to as I play. But I've always been a big fan of Magic the Gathering, and this live stream, just to start off, is not going to be a tutorial. Magic already has one of those. Wizards of the Coast makes a really good tutorial. It's about 7 minutes long, and it kind of walks you through everything. And then Arena also has a tutorial, which is relatively decent as well. So, but if you're going to get started, my recommendation is obviously they create decks for you. And the only problem with those decks is they're not very strong. They're not going to get you a lot of win states. The other thing that's kind of problematic is some of the decks that they'll tell you to go out there and do aren't very fun to play. They're kind of boring and rote. You're going to, like the mouse deck. If you haven't looked it up, look up an all red mouse deck. It's an effective deck. It will win you. You'll win some, if you look down here, I'll get some wins and stuff like that out of it. But the problem is it's just boring to play, because the core of Magic, and what I like about it much more than say your Marvel Snaps or even your Hearthstones, these were games that I very much liked to play in my past, is that you just have your thing. You do your thing, the opponent does their thing, and ne'er the tween shall meet. And I understand the nuances of Marvel Snap, and Trees has tried to argue with me time and time again how Marvel Snap actually is not you just doing your thing. You can react to your opponent, but you're still doing it on your turn. I don't like the swim lane of your turn is your action. So like if you are if you have a mouse deck and your mouse deck is to drop a bunch of mice and attack me and kill me with it, that's all you're going to do. It's a one-trick pony. You might have mild abilities to alter things, but in Marvel Snap or in Hearthstone, that is what you're going to do, and many card games like it. In Magic, you can get as dynamic as you want to, and as I'll prove with one of my decks today, you can elongate a turn or control the speed of the game to the point that the opponent feels like their turn is more your turn than their own. And so we'll have a lot of fun with that. But just to get started, once you get the basics of Magic down, the number one thing you want to do is start with what I consider to be a nice basic deck, which I did for my daughter, which is a creature deck. You want to just start with a basis of throw some creatures in there, maybe some enchantments, which are world effects that will help enhance those creatures, maybe some combos you can think of. You can throw in some artifacts or some lands. I warn people, make your lands to be either creature-centric or become creatures themselves as opposed to anything else. And then you can have some instants and sorceries. The difference between an instant and a sorcery is a sorcery can only be done on your turn and cannot be done as an interrupt to somebody else's action. An instant can be both of those things. It can be done at any time and it interrupts whatever the action is. And Magic's infamous saying is last in, first out. The last thing that's on the card stack is the first thing that triggers. So everything triggers in a reverse effect. And again, this is just conceptual. we will show this off right away. And then before the end of this live stream, just to let people know some of the stuff I'm going to be doing today, I'm going to be showing off some decks initially and playing some games. The next thing I want to do is I've got some packs. So just to show it off and see what people we're talking about. I've got some Tarkir packs. I've got some Tarkir Dragonstorm. I forget what the difference between these two are. I want to say maybe this one's got alt cards in it, but I've got 3 of these packs, 23 of these packs, because I really didn't get to know Tarkir very well. I didn't even buy the battle pass. I just kind of played through the season and got my coins. As you can see, I've got a lot of coins, which is your gold. It's your easiest currency that you can use for stuff. I did buy the Final Fantasy pack, not for this live stream or other live streams, but because I selfishly love Final Fantasy and I love Magic and I wanted the crossover. And this is way cheaper than the tangible packs, easier to buy or easier to find too. And so we've got some of those packs. I might open like 3 of them to get me to 55. And then I've got some gold packs. I also have bought the battle pass for the season. So I'm only very little into it, but I've got my little side chocobo. I don't have the red one yet, but I do have the yellow chocobo, which you'll see as my default character. So we'll be doing some packs. And then of course, there's lots of different ways to play Magic. So we're going to do some jumping into Magic just so people can, like, which is Jumpstart. Let's see if they have it here. They do. So they have some jump starts, which are a great way to have like randomized Wizards of the Coast decks that you can jump into. I really like those, so we'll be doing some of that today. And if I feel frisky enough, let's see what else we've got here. We've got events. These are paid events. You'll always use currency of some type. But maybe I'll do a sealed thing, or they do have Quick Draft Final Fantasy already. Quick Draft is my absolute favorite because I feel that one's more of your ability to grasp the concepts of the game as opposed to you knowing all the combos and knowing the sets inside and out and all that stuff. But there's a lot of different stuff, and we'll be doing a lot of different things, you know, as this live stream goes on. But let's start with just playing the flippin' game, right? Come on, Fred, let's play the game. So here we go. These are not Final Fantasy decks, I would just like to show. But these are some of my decks out there. I've got a lot of different decks. I play them in a lot of different scenarios. And so let's start with a creature-based deck. Let's see, we've got 2 viewers, so I'm going to give the viewers, I know there's a delay also, I'm going to give the viewers about 30 seconds, but out of Phyrexian Boost or Reborn, this is my black, white, and my green and black. Does anyone have a preference? We're going to give people a minute, but just to show, I have a lot of decks over the time, and some of them are funny. Like I've got like, you know, some of these are given to us like Snack Time or Path to Power, Path of Power, Learn from the Land. They seem to like to reuse some stuff. And all these are like Wizards of the Coast provided decks, Cat Attack, things like that. This one I don't even have a name for. But then there are like some ones that I created like Secrets and Big Bad and all this stuff. And some of these aren't even available anymore, but I can tell you that like Desert Ruby, which is a fun little kind of wild deck about getting big creatures out very fast, or my black and red free deck, or I really love my Is It Control deck. We got to try that one out. That's the one where I manipulate time. We got a Dimir Toxic where it's just like burn to the end and stuff. And no one's chimed in. So I'm going to go with Reborn. We're going to go with my black-white deck that I like a lot called Reborn. Let me show this deck off real quick because I know a lot of people just want to know what's in a deck. So let's talk about the basic principles of this deck and kind of what I put into it. Ooh, and I haven't applied styles. So we'll apply styles so fancy versions of cards will be in there. But okay. So, first and foremost is a black-white deck. So I do have Concealed Courtyard, which is a dual land. You'll notice dual lands are very popular. There are different reasons to use different ones. This one enters tapped unless you control 2 or fewer lands. These are early dual lands. That's their goal. I also have the Caves of Koilos. I think these are from Ice Age actually, but they've been reprinted many times. These are what we call pain lands. You pay to get a colored mana out of them, or you can just get a colorless out of them for free. And then I have my illustrious 8-bit lands. These are my favorite ones. Kind of look like they're from Windows 3.1. But I have 8 of those because you do want a total of 24 lands in a 60-card deck like mine. That's especially true with Arena, which is really bad at land distribution. The goal of this deck basically is for things to live and die by them. So we'll start with Tiny Bones. Tiny Bones is a 1 creature, 1/1. Got 4 of him in the deck. In fact, I have 4 of everything in the deck if you look at it. But it's a 1/1 creature. It has Death Touch, which means if it does damage, it kills the creature no matter what. And that's really my goal with this deck, with him in this deck. But a lot of people are fearful of him because of what he does. If he attacks and hits the other player, I can cast anything in their graveyard that is a permanent, which basically means like anything that's not a spell, creatures, enchantments, artifacts, things like that. I can steal them from the graveyard. People are so scared of this that they will go out of their way to kill Tiny Bones. And Tiny Bones' real goal early into the game is to either kill off things I don't like, steal things that people discard, or just scare people. I expect him to be taken out. Next up is Soul Search. This is a card that's kind of mean. It needs a black and a white, but I usually have that first turn. And you get to look at your opponent's hand and you get to remove a card from the game. That's what exile is, which means they don't go to a graveyard, they cannot come back. It's kind of weird because it takes them out of the running for Tiny Bones, which seems almost counterproductive, kind of confuses people in this deck. The reason I like it is there's a lot of decks out there right now in the meta, and just in general, that their one goal is to get a card into the graveyard only so they can pull it back out of the graveyard. So I like to take these cards away, and especially if I can tell what your deck is, you know, that's really fun because then I know what are the core essentials and I can get rid of them. The other thing is if the card's mana value is 1, so a mouse deck, I get a little 1/1 flyer, which is just a bonus. I have no intention of actually using it. Next up is Banishing Light. Banishing Light is a simple enchantment. It removes something from the game. This just gets things on the battlefield out of my way when I don't like them. Split Up. This is one of my favorite parts of this deck. This is especially true for any creature-heavy deck. I can destroy all tapped creatures or all untapped creatures, and I am fully ready to sacrifice any of my creatures in this deck for this purpose. Next up is Liliana of the Veil. She is a planeswalker. These planeswalkers come out. They start with their base value, which is in the lower right, which is 3. And then she can do one of these actions every turn. It either adds or reduces her value in the lower right. If it gets to 0, she dies. If creatures attack her, every point of damage they deal takes off 1 at the bottom. So when you initially drop her, mostly your goal is the middle one. Target player sacrifices a creature. You drop her out there when the player has 1 creature, you make them sacrifice a creature, or if you have a way to kill the other creature, you make them sacrifice 1 of the creatures, then you kill the other creature, and then she'll only have 1. From that point on, you start making people discard cards. People take for granted how painful discarding a card is, as you'll see. Sure, if you've got a land, you can drop it, but like I said, there's a lot of good reasons for having her in this deck. And again, everything in this deck is forfeit. I don't care if it dies. Next up is Unstoppable Slasher. This guy is super mean. This is one of the most hated cards, I think, in Magic right now. He comes out for a cheap price of 3. He's a 2/3. He has Death Touch. So anything he does damage to dies. If he deals combat to the opponent, which means if they let him through, he cuts your life in half rounded up, which means if you have less than 1 life, if you have 1 life, you die. When he does it. So if you have 3 life with him, he'll do 2 and then take off the last 1 with his ability. But this is more notorious early in the game when you have like 20 life and he hits you for 2, you go down to 18 and then you're immediately cut in half to 9. The best part is when he dies, he comes back to the battlefield tapped with 2 stun counters, which means the opponent has 2 turns where he's completely out of the running. He can't attack, he can't block, he can't do anything, he's stuck. And if they can kill him during that time, then he dies for good. But this is great because they're either wasting 2 resources to kill him, and they're probably so over-focused on him that I can do the other things my deck is capable of doing. Next up is the Phyrexian Vindicator. This is the weakest part of this deck, even though it seems like a really mean, awesome creature, and it is, which is a 5/5 flyer for 4 white. And since I use a lot of dual lands, it's usually not a problem. But anything that gets damage dealt to him, first of all, it's prevented, so he doesn't die from it. And second of all, I get to reroute it to someone else. So this is one of those things where just having him sitting there on the board, doing nothing, ready to block, scares the hell out of people. Next up is the Sarah Paragon. She is the mean, like, gestalt of this deck. She's a 3/4 flyer for 4, but that's not the reason I have her in the deck. The reason I have her in the deck is I can cast a permanent with mana value 3 or less from my graveyard. If you've been paying attention, most of the cards in this deck have a value of 3 or less, so I can bring back Liliana. I can bring back any of those unstoppable slashers. I can bring back a Banishing Light that someone managed to get rid of. It doubles this deck up. And thank you, Gren, who is in the chat, for being the person who recommended this card to me to enhance this deck. Next up is Sheila Dread of the Apocalypse, another hated and beloved by black players. She's 4/5 for only 4, so she's way too big for her price. She has Death Touch, which means anything she kills or blocks dies. Whenever I draw a card, I gain 2 life. Whenever my opponent draws a card, which many decks are surrounded by drawing cards, they take 2 damage. This is the one people want to get rid of the most, and this is the one that's hardest to bring back to life. Obviously, another thing to keep in mind is Sheila Dread and Tiny Bones are legendary creatures, which means you can only have one of them on the board at a time. But enough chit chat. I've talked enough. Let's play a game, shall we? So, okay, we'll come over here and should we go ranked? Should we go ranked? I don't know. Since I know there's a delay, and I think the delay is looking at stuff, it's probably about 30 seconds. Let's find a match, and let's go standard play. We tend to have a diversity on decks. Well, no, you know what? I'm gonna go ranked. Let's go ranked. We're gonna go standard ranked with this. We'll see what comes this way. I might get my butt whooped by a good deck, but let's go. Put the caffeine aside a second for some bottled seltzer water. Going up again, Just Curio, and I'm in the gold slot, so I'll have some decent people up against me. Okay, so first and foremost, I don't love this hand. Yeah, I can get rid of characters, but that's not the goal of this deck right at the beginning. Sarah Paragon's not going to come out, and I don't have enough to bring her out anyway. And the Unstoppable Slasher, yeah, I don't love this. I'm in a mulligan. Okay, this is what I hate about Arena. What a dog terrible mulligan. This would never happen, that I would end up with the exact same lands. But I'm going to keep it this time because I have to get rid of a card every time I mulligan. So I will keep 6, and you bet that Vindicator's going right to the back of the deck. I do have 2 Lilianas to play around with, though, so that's fine. Okay, we got a swamp, so this is going to be a black deck. And judging by the fact that this is a Final Fantasy land, the person's probably a ooh, it's a discard deck. Okay, I'm familiar with this deck very well. I'm going to get rid of Liliana because she is probably the least important of these cards, and I have 2 of them. This card's... spoke too soon. This deck's entire goal is to make me discard cards, which is not useful with this deck because I don't want to discard cards. Very useful in other decks, but we shall see. Oh, we're going to keep it going. Okay. We'll get rid of a swamp. Ooh, target opponent exiles a card from their hand. What do I want to get rid of? It's playing aggressive on me. I'm gonna risk it. There's good old Tiny Bones. That's someone I was expecting. Make him think twice without getting rid of stuff. Oh, he wants to kill my creature. For the record, this discard deck is going to slaughter my current deck, especially with my current hand. This one may be forfeit from the onset, because he's going to keep getting rid of cards. He doesn't have a whole lot to work with. He's kind of going light, but I'm out of lands and stuff like that. I'm not going to be a complete jerk, but if I can't keep this up for another turn or 2, I'm just going to nope out. He's going to sacrifice that so he can stack his turns, which is smart. That's what I would do too. He's got my Liliana hostage, and the reason he selected my Liliana, I can tell you, is because in selecting... See, he's kind of blowing his load too, though. He's only got 1 card, but see, I'm going to be land killed here, which is one of my biggest complaints about Magic the Gathering Arena. But if you look, and I'll just let him go on because there's nothing more annoying than waiting for the other player. He's got plenty of lands. I don't think he's getting any more, which is problematic because that means he's having trouble finding what he wants, though. That much is clear with him doing the Hopeless Nightmares. Me, I'm one land away, it doesn't matter which one, from getting out my Unstoppable Slasher, which will help me a little, but I guarantee you at least one of the cards he has in hand is that this is brutal. All right, I'm going to wish him a good game because this was just a horrible example. Really bad round. One of the things I hate about Arena, and it's not that that player's fault. So, I'm going to give this one more chance on ranked because I think that was a really weak showing of a deck that I'm pretty proud of. This is not my strongest deck in ranked at all, but let's keep going. I really don't care about my stat in ranked, so I'm going to go again. We're going to try this Reborn deck again and hopefully get a better shuffle and shed some more light on what other decks are doing. But that discard deck is a very common ranked deck, you will see, and I love it because my control deck, my red-blue one, ticks those guys off because the whole deck wants me to constantly be discarding. We have Skittles, they're a collector, I see that right there, so this is a pretty seasoned player in my opinion. Okay, we got Tiny Bones in the opening hand, like to see that. Got a dual land plus one of each, I like to see that. This I can work with. I don't love the fact that I don't really have anything to do like after turn one, but I'm gonna work with it. We'll see what happens. Drop this right away to let him know I like black and white. Not that he really cares. If you like Cloud Strife backing too. Okay, now, you see I've got this Phyrexian Vindicator, which means I want 4 white as soon as possible, and I've already got 3 of them. So I'm going to drop a Plains because that's my #1 goal. And I'm just going to attack with him because why not? You know, death by 1,000 cuts and the whatnot. See what he's up to. This is a pretty fancy 2/2 card. Or sorry, dual land. He's got another dual land. This is going to be a slow-paced beginning. Ooh, there we go. Okay, so my Vindicator can come out next turn, which is great. For now, we'll just let Tiny Bones go do his thing, and we'll... So if you look, I'll be bringing out the Vindicator next. Plus, if Tiny Bones goes away, I've always got the Sarah Paragon, which turn 5 I can get Tiny Bones back onto the field. We'll see what he's going to do, though. I also have some benefits with a red-white deck. Oh, see, he gave up right away. I didn't even have a chance to show you guys. Benefits of a red-white deck is they tend to do damage, so my Phyrexian Vindicator would have been pretty brutal. Okay, so at the risk of being a little boring, ranked matches aren't that fun right now. I think we've got some people who are playing the field. It's pretty common for ranked, so let's play something that's not a ranked, but I really quickly want to show you the deck. So we're going to do Phyrexian Boost. This is another good creature-heavy deck, and I'm not going to go as in-depth as before, but you can see it's a much more... it's a much more widespread deck. So this is a black and green deck, and I'll kind of tell you what its goal is. But its main goal is to just get out heavy hitter creatures and screw with the opponent. One of those examples is Tail Swipe. What this does is this just allows me to take a creature and attack another creature, something not common in Magic. This one's fun because people think it's the purpose of the deck, and it's not. It's just a cheap. It's 2 for a 2/2. It's got Menace. It needs to be blocked by 2 creatures, so it's fun to get it out there. I only have 2 of them in the deck anyway, and every time they damage the opponent, I get a +1/+1 counter, so she keeps getting bigger. And if she manages to get 4 of them, which I never expect her to, she's just supposed to be a distraction, but if it does, then I get to go through my library and get any card I want. This one's fun, the Grafted Butcher. This is a Phyrexian. A lot of these characters are Phyrexians. It's kind of the point of the deck is to be a Phyrexian deck. It is a, let's say, a race of creatures. And its goal is to come out as a 2/2. Whenever it enters, it gives all my Phyrexians Menace, which means they have to be blocked by 2 creatures. This can be a game-winning move. And other Phyrexians get +1/+1, so it boosts all my other Phyrexians. And then my favorite part of this creature is whenever it dies, it doesn't really die. I can pay 4 mana, sacrifice an artifact or a creature, and bring it back to the battlefield, which I do quite often. This one, Tarion's Journal. Is there really only 2? I guess there is really only 2. This one's like not essential, but it's a fun one. Basically, you just bring it onto the board. You can sacrifice a creature, which I'm always open to draw a card, but I rarely use. And then what you can eventually do is discard your hand. I usually do this when I have little or nothing in my hand, and it becomes a land that lets me play creatures from my graveyard. Vron the Executioner, again, it's a fun little Phyrexian. It's a 2/2. Whenever creatures I control die, the opponent loses 2 life and I gain 2 life. It's just like a boost. Atrax's Fall, this one's great. This one allows me to kill an artifact, an enchantment, a battle, or a creature with flying. Battles aren't really common right now, but they do exist and they are in the meta. This guy's another Phyrexian. It just allows me to sacrifice creatures, and when I do, I get to boost him up, and then eventually when he dies, I get this Incubator, which is just another creature that's boosted up. Bloated Contaminator, this one's fun. It's only 3 for a 4/4 with Trample, which means any extra damage it does to a creature beyond its toughness, I deal to the opponent, and if it ever damages the opponent, they get its toxic 1. They get a poison counter. 10 poison counters, you lose the game regardless of your health. Last but not least, whenever it deals combat damage to a player, I proliferate, which means I can pick certain counters to add 1 to. Elvish Vat Keeper, again, it comes out as a 3/3. It's a fun little one, and then if I pay 5, I can turn one of these incubators to a bigger version. This girl's great as well. She's first strike and death touch, which means ideally, unless you've got another first striker, she kills everything that blocks her without taking any damage herself. And if she damages the opponent, I can do various things. This one's fun, Archfeld of the Dross. He's a 6/6 for only 4. The thing is, he gets 4 counters, and they get removed every turn, and if he loses all his counters, I lose the game. But whenever a creature dies on the opponent's side, they lose 2 life. The reason I put him in here and I don't worry about it is because this deck is around sacrificing creatures, so I can always sack him if I don't need him. Sheila Dread we've seen in the past. Tangled Skyline just allows for reach. There's not a lot of flyers in this deck. It allows me to grab flyers. It also has some fun benefits like giving me life and giving me a 5 boost Phyrexian. Last but not least, Glissa, Herald of the Predation. It's a weird one. She's just fun to drop on the board because she allows me to keep making incubators, transform incubators without paying their cost so I can get a bunch of creatures on the board real quick. Or my favorite that no one uses her for, Phyrexians you control gain first strike and death touch, which means they're basically killing anything that blocks them, and if you let them through, there's always a consequence. Last but not least, we've got my lovely Windows 3.1 8-bit Swamp and my lovely Windows 3.1 8-bit Forest. Love those guys, and then I've got a bunch of like dual lands. We'll tackle those as they come. Let's get into playing. And we're gonna do a player game. Standard play, here we go. These people have a lower likeliness of quitting is the real reason I kind of go with them. Just in case people are wondering how long this live stream is going to go for, probably another 45 minutes. I'm going to go until 7 o'clock. My time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Okay, the best part about this deck is if I have 3 lands, I'm usually happy with whatever. This is perfectly fine. I'm going to keep my hand. In case you're wondering, Ayara is coming out first. Yoke the Ambitious, who we're playing against. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. Okay, he got rid of one. All right, so make him think I'm playing a green deck. Play around with his bat. And here's my little Bone Raptor. I like putting different creatures on different decks, and he's like, I won't get you. I won't get you. Another red-white deck. Okay, maybe we'll get to see red-white in its action. Red-white's really good at combat and various other things. I'm also liking my placement of me on the board. I really don't like doing this, but I think I'm going to move me up here because I think that's a better spot for me. Y'all can let me know. All right, now we've got enough for Ayara. We're going to do it. See what he does against Ayara. Not a damn thing. So she's gonna get cranked up, and we've got another one, and she is not legendary. So first thing we'll do, we'll have her attack. She's gonna get bigger and become a 3/3. And then we will drop our Bloated Contaminator on the board. 4/4 has the Trample and Toxic. So this guy or gal now knows they need to deal with them, but they haven't. So I'm hesitant. So here's the thing, you don't want to get too eager. So usually it's advantageous to attack first it gives them the impression that you might have something you're doing. And if they don't do anything, then I can... Okay, they don't have anything. So watch this. So first of all, she gets another thing, another counter, and then because of proliferate, she gets another poison counter, and she gets bigger. Now it's time to bring out Ayara again. Now it's time to start boosting up multiple Ayaras. Let's see what this person does. They now have 4 mana. Destroy all creatures. I think that deserves an ace. So let's see what we got coming up. Oh, and actually that just does the damage. Get out our Praetor. Wipe the board. Hope you have something better. Kind of boring if you ask me. Let's kill 2 birds, 1 stone. First things first. Bring this out. This makes him bigger. Gives him menace, which means you need 2 blockers. That means they can't block it. So nails him. Down to 6 now. And also this leaves the butcher around to take care of the sadistic pilgrim should I need it. And then I'll drop the butcher next turn to overwhelm them and hopefully win the game. Let's see what they do. They obviously have a lot going on. This is a black, white, and red deck. Let's see what they do. I think their problem is their deck's got to do more than they have time for. Okay. Yeah, I'll let it through. Sure. Okay. You're at 7 now. Good for you. What you gonna do? Whenever you attack this turn, create... They're tapped and attack. Sacrifice them at the end. Okay. Which means I don't really have to worry about them. They kind of exist in perpetuity. Okay, so they're going to attack with this. They decided to go that route. To gain life. I see what they did there. So I'm kind of curious as to if they thought I wasn't going to do this, but I am. Still down. I see the point of this deck, though. It's to gain life whenever you do really anything. Nice work. Okay. So. How do I want to do this? Start with this. Samurai on the board, and then get past this guy. Not a whole lot he can do about this, and I know he's gonna do potentially this thing again, but then that means he's got to attack. So we kind of put him into like a forced offensive. She's back. I'm gonna say he ain't attacking this turn. I also need another land to pop this out. That'll make it very useful for me. But, you know, for now, I'm fine either way. Ooh, she's fun. Don't have the mana for her, but she's fun. So here's a fun little trick I get to do now. Watch this. Guess who's got menace again? And now we go for it. Looks like they're gonna let him through. And I get what they're gonna do. They're gonna do that thing where they gain more life by attacking again. now they're going to double it up, which is why I really desperately need either one more mana or something that does, if you remember, I've got that tail whip strike thing. Like, yeah, you get what you're doing. You get the combo of your deck. It's nice. Okay, let's bring her out again. He's going to get a bunch of life from this, obviously. Not worried about it. Her death, as well as the others, are going to be felt. He's so proud of himself, you can tell. So we've got an incubation here. Really have no value with that. Whoa. Actually, no. No, hold on. Yep, got you, buddy. What are you gonna do? Record, he will probably stomp me to oblivion, but let's see what happens. Guess not. He does gain his life, and he slowly, do you see how he ticks away at me? Good game. He knows he's beaten me. I'll let him have it. There you have it. Slaughtered. Okay. So, I think you guys have watched me lose too often. I'm going to try to win this time. So I'm going to give it up to people. This is the point where if I was here for money, which I'm not, I would be like, okay, everybody, let's see some super chats to figure out which one I'm going to do. I will give folks a choice, and I'm not going to go through the deck, but I'm going to do a ranked match after I open some packs real quick. Either Dimir Toxic or Is It Control. Dimir Toxic is a black-white deck that is basically about getting the opponent to 10 poison counters as fast as possible. It has a very high win percentage. It does a lot of like during their turn manipulation, which I'd like to do and show off here because that's one of my favorite parts of Magic. But it's a relatively basic and boring deck. Anyone can make it. Is It Control really screws with the opponent if it can get going. That is a dependency, though I can't always get it going. But either way, we'll see. In the meantime, let's open some packs. Okay, what do you say? So I didn't get to know Tarkir very well, so these are going to be new for me as well. But let's get into these 3 special Tarkir packs. Let's go. Okay, see, they're all new to me. You may cast a spell as though it had flash if you behold a dragon. So you show a dragon either on the battlefield or in your hand. You can play it at any time. So sorcery is normally just during your turn. Deals 4 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Cool. This guy, he's 5. He's 3/3 flying in haste, which means he can attack right when he comes out, and you can pump him up. It's kind of cool. Discard a card if you do. Draw 2 cards. It's also kind of cool. So it's a triple land creature. Gotcha. Here's a pissed off dog. I love it. Dog mercenary. Double team. This is something I'm not familiar with. When a creature with a double team attacks, if it's not a token, conjure a duplicate of them into your hand and both of them perpetually lose double team. So what that basically means is a clone suddenly shows up in your hand and they both lose that ability. So it basically makes a duplicate in your hand of this creature. It's kind of cool. When this enchantment enters, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls. Okay, so this is just the same thing that I had where you pay 3, you get rid of something on the battlefield you don't like. Target creature you control gains death touch and indestructible until end of turn. So this is a fun one. You just send the creature into battle, and then whenever something you really care about blocks it or you don't want it to die, you pop this out. It kills the creature and it lives. Seek. So seek is to pick one at random from your library. A mountain card, a forest card, a non-mountain card, a non-forest land. Put one of them into the battlefield and one of them into your graveyard. Okay. 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 It's kind of cool. You basically get rid of 2 lands to get 1. Strips down your deck, has less lands. Arena has a real problem with lands, I hate to say it. Dragonweave Tapestry. When this artifact enters, conjure a spell book into your library twice. Okay, so 2 random spell books get added to your deck. Whenever you cast a dragon or omen, you draw a card. That's huge if you have a dragon deck. And it adds 1 mana of any color. This is great for 4 mana. And then you get one of these 5 spells. Looks like one of them is this crazy dragon. So you get some cool spells in your deck. It lets you draw a card anytime an omen or a dragon shows up, and you get 1 mana. It's a pretty decent card. See what we have here. Humbling Elder. That's me. Flash, which means they get cast at any time. You can cast them on the opponent's turn or whatever. Love cards like that. And it's only 1, so you're usually going to have 1 mana. When this creature enters, target creature opponent controls gets -2, -0. Okay, so this makes a creature do less damage, which can either help you if they're hitting you. It can prevent them from doing damage to you if they have an ability where if they do damage, like many things I've done so far, comes out. It can also just, you know, I don't know. You're just basically reducing it. All right, next up, Champion of Dusong. Renew. What is renew? Oh, okay, it tells me. Pay 2, exile this card from your graveyard so it gets removed from the game. Put a +1/+1 counter and a trample counter on any creature. Can only be done as a sorcery, which means during one of the main phases of your turn. Okay. Okay, it's fine. Human Monk, double team. So you get another one in your hand. Flurry, whenever you cast your second spell each turn. This creature, okay, so it becomes a 4/4 whenever you cast 2 spells a turn, and you pay 2, you get a 2/2, and you get 1 in your hand. Okay. 2 for a 2/1 haste, so it can attack the turn it comes out. Whenever you cast your second spell each turn, it deals a damage. Okay, death by 1,000 cuts kind of thing. 5 Serpent for 3/3, that's really expensive, no wonder it's common. When this creature enters, return target creature and opponent controls to its hand. Okay. So you bring it out, get something you don't like out of the picture for a very short period of time. Here's an enchantment. It's like a world thing. You pay 2, so it's on the second turn. Attacking tokens you control get +1/+0. Okay, death by 1,000 cuts kind of thing. Or later in the game. That can be a very beneficial card. Whenever you cast your first creature each turn, this spell gains mobilize 2. Whenever this creature attacks, create 2 tapped and attacking creatures. Okay, so you cast your first creature spell each turn, and then does it become a creature, or... Huh, that's interesting, but that's the way I kind of died in that last game, where 2 creatures... Okay, this is a mythic, so this is kind of a big one. It's expensive, 6 for a 6/6, and you gotta have a red, blue, and green, so you definitely want to build your deck around it. But it's flying and vigilance, which means it doesn't tap to attack. It can attack and block in a turn. When this creature enters, return all non-dragon creatures to their owner's hand. So you can wipe the board of non-dragon creatures. That's a game-winning move. And you can play it before it comes out as a creature in this other part, which is the sorcery Omen. It deals 2 damage to any target, so you can attack a person or a creature. Next dragon spell you cast costs 2 less, which basically reduces this dragon or another dragon's spell cost to 4. Okay, that's kind of cool. If you're lucky enough, you play the Omen on turn 3. It's a sorcery, so you're going to play it during your turn. Kill off something or deal 2 damage to something. Then on turn 4, you can pop this guy out. That would be pretty rough. Alright, let's do the last Tarkir card. We're losing viewers left and right, not that I care, but hey. Alright, Meticulous Artisan. It's a Jean Artificer. So a Jean is a genie. Prowess. So whenever you cast a non-creature spell, anytime you cast a spell that isn't a creature, this guy gets bigger. It's a 3/3 already, which is decent. And when it enters, you get a treasure token. Okay, that's a decent common. 3 for a 2/2 flying. decent common. Whenever this creature deals damage to a player, you search your library for another one. So this is one of those cards where you put a ton of them in your deck and you make a deck around it. They're never that effective competitively, but they're fun. Dragon's Prey, 3. Costs 2 more if it targets a dragon. Fair enough. It's supposed to be for dragons targeting non-dragons. You destroy a creature for 3. It's a little expensive. I'm used to 2, but okay. Here's the dog again that replicates itself. I just love that picture, right? This dog just like, bro. Anyway. All right, here's an aura. This is a world enchantment. Oh, no, it goes on a creature. Okay, so it's flash. You can play it at any time, so you can play it during an opponent's turn or in a chain. It enchants it. When it enters, the creature gains first strike until end of turn. So this is one of those things where you send a creature across. The moment they block it, you pop this guy out so that you know it's going to kill it without taking any damage. First strike means it does its damage first. If the creature lives, then this guy takes damage. I also love this dude just scream kicking this other dude in the face. That's exactly what that would do. And it gets +2/+0. Basically, you're killing whatever blocks this creature when you pop it out. We already talked about this one. Okay, Oasis of Renewal. So it's 3. It's a legendary enchantment. You can only have 1 on the board at a time. And it's a rare, so it's not super crazy. Costs 3, but it's a black, green, and blue. When it enters, and whenever a land card leaves your graveyard, which means you pull it out or remove it from the game, seek a land card. So you can go through your deck or, library or hand. Oh no, you put a random card from your library into your hand. Okay. This ability triggers only once a turn. Okay, it doesn't want you to do an infinite loop. When it enters or whenever you do this... Okay, weird. Okay, this is just cranking lands. Okay. There are use cases for that, but none that impress me the most. Okay, let's do something random. Let's do something fun. I don't have anyone telling me which they want to see, so we will wrap this whole thing up with a couple more card pack openings. I think we're going to do 3 Final Fantasies. And we will wrap it up with me playing a competitive game. But for now, let's do the jump into Magic Final Fantasy. We're going to spend 1,000 gold. Okay, Devious, Weapons, or Mage. Not a huge Weapons fan, not a huge Mage fan. Let's go Devious. Plus we got Kefka right there. Final Fantasy VI represent. And then Merciless. That's Final Fantasy VII. Gosh, who is that? Oh, it's right there, Rufus. You didn't see me not notice that. Artifacts and Chocobo. Love, don't hate Merciless. And it's black-white, so it goes with my Devious. But I'm going to pass on it. Artifacts, blue. I love a black and blue deck. We call them bruise decks. They're usually a manipulation, kind of control stuff. But who can turn down a Chocobo, baby? We're going to do a Chocobo. So we've got a Devious Chocobo. Why wouldn't we call it Devious Chocobo? And I'm going to play it in the blind. Let's see what Final Fantasy has for us. I know nothing about this set. I've not looked at any of the spoilers. I've not opened any packs or anything like that. And we are playing a Nebura lion character. Okay. I've got enough. I've got plenty. Let's keep it. There's Zaz's Chocobo. I'm going to do the same. But, okay, so this land enters tapped. And I don't have anything that necessary to do turn 2. So I'm going to take the fact that Zaz's Chocobo gets to be out there, and I'm a turn behind to get the dual land on the board. Not a call everyone would make. That's the call I made. Oh, this creature has landfall, which means anytime the creature hits the board, it's going to come out. It's going to get hit. So this is a landfall-based deck. So first thing I'm going to do, so if you remember, Zaz's Chocobo, he got to boost up when a land came out. If I were foolish, or if I were a newer player, I might drop my land before playing this. I'm going to play my land first, so I gain the benefits as if I played it turn 1. I'm also going to bring out this Tonberry, so we'll drop the Swamp, and we'll drop the Tonberry. So it has a stun counter on it. It's going to go a turn or two without it, but then it has Chef's Knight, which means during my turn, it has First Strike and Death Touch. That's pretty strong. He's got a nice group of landfall cards, so he's going to be able to put a +1/+1 counter on anything. The Chocobo's going to get a counter, and he's going to do a damage to me. That's a decent combination. And he's not foolish for dropping that on me. Okay, let's see what we got here. So I can drop this to put a swamp card in my hand. I'm definitely not going to do that. Okay, so I've got a lot of land stuff, and I can destroy a creature. So that Chocobo's probably going the way of the Dodo, no pun intended, next turn. But for now, drop that, we'll get that. Let's drop a Greeter. I get to pick one, I'll put the Force in my hand. The other benefit here, I don't think he can kill my Chocobo. Let's find out if he can. He can't. And really this guy's goal is to take the hit from the Chocobo, which might be sizable. Because he's going to make his Chocobo really big. And I'm hoping he puts it all into the Chocobo. I want him to, because what I'm going to do is Sephiroth's Intervention. He's smarter than I took him for. Or she. Ouch. Why is the coffee always gone? Here they come. Protecting me. He knows I have a forest. Drop it, so he's expecting it. It also means he doesn't know what other lands are in my hand. Okay. So that guy is going to allow him to pump up a creature next turn. Trying to figure out what I want to do. But this guy's got First Strike during my turn. Alright, let's bait him. I don't think he's going to do it. No. We're dealing with someone who knows what they're doing. Okay. Gotta go into the next turn knowing I have Sephiroth's Intervention. Let's see what he does. He is stomping me. Jeez, I'm getting stomped every which way. Nah. Crank him up. See what he does. Okay, so you ready to see something funny? Okay, so remember the last in, first out. I'm going to use Sephiroth's Intervention to kill this Chocobo, and it saves mine. Watch this. Now it does no damage, and I'm good. I might not have expected that. It's not going to help me per se. But it's a start. I'm going to die otherwise, so doesn't matter who I block. And I'm totally done that. We'll bid them adieu. Not been a strong day for me, huh? Just watch me fail and fail and fail again. It is what it is. Okay. We'll keep that in hand for the future. All right. Yes, I do. So Gren asked, are those corgi sleeves? Yes, I have corgi sleeves. Hold on, let me be a dork for a minute. I have a lot of fun sleeves. I've been playing this game for a long time. I have the Soul Ring sleeve. Some fun werewolf and death metal sleeves and stuff like that. But far and away... Oh, I love the used magic card sleeve. Maybe some of you have that one. But yeah, I love my little corgi sleeve. For those that don't know me, I have 2 corgis. They are adorable. Usually one sitting around here, but I don't think either of them are here. I have another corgi sleeve like that. I think that one got given to me. Makes me wonder. Okay, so I do have the Cloud Strife ones. I could do the cloud stuff. Okay, so we have the highest number of viewers right now, 5. Wasn't expecting any. So thank you for everyone who's here. I am not a YouTuber who's looking to gain any money. I have no interest in doing any sort of fundraising. But let's kick into it. So we've got a store upgrade. I just want to make sure there's no fun packs or anything I can buy. No, this looks like mostly... Okay, we saw this already. These are altered forms. So let's open some packs, right? Let's open some packs, and then we'll wrap up this live stream in the next like 15 minutes or so. We'll close this live stream with a fun little competitive ranked match with my most devious deck, and we'll see how it fares. Let's go into some packs. Let's open some packs, baby. We got a lot of Tark here we got to open, but I'm not going to do it today. Let's do Final Fantasy. People like Final Fantasy. You came for the Final Fantasy, so here we go. I know nothing about this set. Okay. Scorpion Sentinel. Fun little Final Fantasy VII reference. It's a 1/4 for 2. As long as you control 7 or more lands, this creature gets +3/+0. Okay. Okay. It's a 4/4 later in the game, essentially. Iron Giant, 7 for a 6/6. Vigilance, Reach, Trample. Doesn't tap to attack. Can block flyers. It's decent. Look at this fun one. It's from the bonus sheet. Baron Rivalry. Is that a Dragoon I spot? I think it's a Dragoon. It is a take on Deadly Dispute. It's an instant. It's an additional cost to this spell. Sacrifice an artifact or creature. Draw 2 cards and create a treasure token. Okay. Got my fun uncommon wild card. What are my wild cards at? So the commons and uncommons don't pay any attention to. 34 rare, 31 mythic. That's cool. 3 to destroy an artifact, enchantment, or creature with flying, cycling 2. I would prefer the one that's 2. Syncopate. Counter a spell unless its controller pays X. That spell is countered in this way. Exile it instead of putting it into its owner's graveyard. First of all, love the art. Is that Spell Blast, but with a doper look? Yeah, I'm with you. The bonus sheet art is very cool. I didn't know it was in the arena games, so that's great. We got a delivery Moogle. 4 for a 3/2 flying. When this creature enters, search your library or graveyard for an artifact card with mana value 2 or less. Reveal it, put it in your hand. Okay, cool. Xenos Ye Galvis. Why do I not remember who this is? All right. My first friend. When it enters, choose a creature an opponent controls until end of turn. Creatures other than this creature and that chosen creature. Okay, so you can spare one of their creatures. You have to spare one of their creatures. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, you get Shinryu. Okay, so you basically get rid of everybody else. Then the one that's left, if you can kill it, you get an 8/8 flyer. As this creature transforms, choose an opponent. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. Well, no duh. I love this. Love this. It's fun, it's dumb, it's all my stuff. Okay, here's the enter tap. Dual lands, these are... I'm going to be a jerk for a minute. These are virtually useless. The Soleil, the ones where you can see the top card, one, and they enter tapped, mildly useful. I don't think they should be rares. I think they should be uncommons. But it's them entering untapped that matters. Apparently I already have Resentful Revelation. Look at the top 3 cards of your library. Put one of them in your hand, the rest into your graveyard. Okay, nice. Hi, Sephiroth. Okay, Stuck in the Summoner's Sanction. 3, enchantment, flash, you can play at any time. Goes on a creature or enchantment. You tap it, and it doesn't untap. Okay. Common take. This card's very common. There's versions of that come out all the time. Yeah, I agree. The commander card, yeah. Attacking creatures get +2/+0 until end of turn, and you can flashback it. Okay, so this is just to pummel people. Monk's Fist, come on, that's gotta be like a Final Fantasy 1 or 2, right? Like, that's gotta be. Anyway, okay. Job select, there's a job system in here, are you kidding me? Equipped creature gets +1/+0, and is a monk in addition to its other types. Kudos to putting a job system in this game. Okay, here's a Final Fantasy VII Shinra reinforcements. 2/3 human soldier. When it enters, mill 3 cards and gain 3 life. Okay. Overkill. Yeah. I think this one explains itself. Oh, Sin. Final Fantasy X. Spear's Punishment. Okay, so it's 7 for a 7/7 flying. It's an Elder Dragon. It's a Legends reference for those that don't know. Whenever Sin enters or attacks, exile a permanent card from your graveyard at random, then create a tapped token that's a copy of that card. If the exiled card is a land card, repeat the process. Interesting. Huh. So you can make a bunch of lands. Okay. What up, Sean? How you doing, sir? Magic is some nerdy stuff. We are up to 6 viewers. It's a new record, friends. All right. I am unfortunately wrapping up, Sean. But thank you for nerding out with me. If you haven't noticed, I have a Nick Arcade t-shirt on. But anyway, okay. Another useless tapped card. Okay, Ice Flan. Elemental Ooze. 6 for a 5/4. Okay, I see why it's a common. When it enters, tap target artifact or creature an opponent controls and put a stun counter on it. Okay, I get that. Yeah. Look at that one. Newfound Adventure. This is a Farseek card. Look for a Plains, Island, or Swamp or Mountain card. Okay, this is one of those cards where if you're playing a green deck, you can go hunt down the other land you're using in an ideally 2-color deck. Or 3 if you're doing that. The Gold Saucer. Pretty sure this is an FF7 reference? I think it's an FF7 reference. Add a colorless. Flip a coin. If you win the flip, get a treasure token. Sacrifice 2 artifacts to draw a card. Okay. Good, not great. Good old job functions. I did not know the job system was in here. That is my new goal, is to make a deck that wins with the job system, and I doubt there's many of them. But okay, equipped creature has whenever you cast a non-creature spell, this creature gets boosted and becomes a wizard. Okay. Dragon's Wyvern, 3 for a 2/1 Drake. Not you, Drake. But anyway. Flying... Oh, my corgi's name is Drake. When this creature enters, create a 1/1 creature token. Okay. Oh, okay. Who are you from? Kina Ku Gourmet. Zaku for 3, 2/3. 4 no more tokens would be created. You get those tokens plus a 1/1 frog creature. Do I detect a little chrono trigger here? I think I do. And okay, so the idea is whenever you make a token, you get a frog, you sack those frogs, you make other things bigger. Excalibur Dos 2. So it's only 1. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on it. Okay. So this is for life gaining decks. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 for each. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, so this is for life gaining decks. Okay. If you look at the lore text. Oh, thank you, sir. Touche. Okay, so Agent Gren in the chat did point out something great, which says, if you look at the lore text, it tells you which FF it comes from. Okay, so I need to do that in the future. Not doing that now, because I didn't. Okay, let's go to ranked. Let's play one final game for the night, and then I've got to call it. Got to go make dinner for the wife. I'm going to play my Is It Control deck. This is a red-blue deck, and its goal is to discard cards and screw with the opponent on their turn. Unfortunately, this deck takes a while to get going. So, if it's not in the cards, no pun intended, it's not in the cards. We'll see if I can get a good game out of this. If I win, may the odds be forever in my favor. It's rare that it takes 30 seconds to find a ranked game. I think I might be in one of those ones, because I don't see the cancel button anymore. This is one of those things in Arena where somebody like joins the match and then quits too early. And then you get this. Boo hiss. But since I'm really bad at figuring out streaming and all this stuff, like, I don't dare walk away, because if I do, I might have to kill the stream, and I don't want to do that at the end. Excuse the cough. Okay, this is one of those draw things I told you about. All right, let's see if I can get somebody. See if I can get somebody to stomp the yard with me or be a sucker. Let's freaking go. We got a 7th person. Thank you for all the viewers out there. All right. Got 3 lands. That's exactly what I like to see. Got my discard. Okay, so the 2 cards that are paramount to this deck working is this one, Artist Talent, where every time I cast a spell, I get to discard a card. And every time I discard a card, I get to do a thing. Let's see if I can pull it off. Always good to drop the dual land, even though it gives the enemy a key to what you're doing. Oh, it's the mouse deck. How I love the mouse deck. You know what, friends? I've got this thing that kills the mouse. But I'm gonna wait till the last minute. I think I'm gonna not cast my Artist Talent yet. Let's let him try to do something with it. What are you gonna do? Mouse deck. I love the background stuff too. I have the horny hopper on me? Okay. You drop the scamp. Oh, okay. So he's going to try to make this painful for me. When this creature dies, it deals damage equal to its power to any target. Bye-bye, baby. He can deal damage to me. Just wasted your spell. Here comes the mouse. Yeah, the job system cards were fun. Okay, so Torch the Tower is super fun because I can remove that creature from the game. But he's gonna pump it up, right? We all know he's gonna pump it up. Ooh, I'm stuck. I'm gonna risk it. Let's get this out. I may regret this as he pummels me with a beefy mouse. Hashtag beefy mouse. Not the slubbering Cerberus. Deserve this. Okay. Here's where I embark my revenge. Shoot, no I don't. Oh my god, why can't I get a flippin' red card? Oh my goodness gracious me. Okay. Let's do overkill and make people cry. Okay, so first thing that's gonna go, I just need to drop something with a 2. I'm gonna drop something with a 3, and I think I'm gonna drop Torch the Tower. Much as I can't believe I'm doing that. I'm gonna take 2 damage. But here's the strength of this deck. So, make him lose a life. How to lose a life. No, I'm so upset. Yeah, he doesn't have a whole lot to come back with, so we'll go with this one. And we'll go with this one. And then if he casts something, if it's too advantageous, we can burn him back. Alright. So Sean with the, I hate those beefy mice makes a great Taco Bell. Alright. Alright, now he's really in trouble. Because I got plenty of things I can drop. Let's see what we want to do here. Can I pull it off? I think I can. So, what I want to do here is cast this so I start drawing cards with no maximum hand size. And I don't want to take any chances, so I'm going to go colorless, 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 blue, blue. Do I want to drop something? Yeah, you know what? I do. Oh, sweet. Do we ping him? Yeah, we ping him. Right? We ping him. He takes it. I get to draw a card. Oh my goodness. I can counter spells or remove little mice creatures from the game. And he's got nothing? He got nothing for me? Got nothing for you, baby. Alright. Well. Let's red, let's blue. And let's electric boogaloo. And let's send this punk over. We're having fun in the chat. Ooh, I love that vault. It lets me discard stuff. I'll keep it. Home Slice has nothing? You got nothing for me, Home Slice? Alright. We're gonna go on. What's he gonna do? And this creature becomes plotted. He didn't plot it though. It's okay. I'm gonna kill it with the torch the tower. See if he does anything. It's when you get to the end of a man's turn, you just can't help yourself. Yeah, let's see what happens. Can you do something to beef it up? Oh, nice. He's going to manifest dread, which means not much, in my opinion. But it means that he gets to take the top card of his deck, turn it into something, but I get to make him lose 3 life, which is what I really care about. See, this is what I'm talking about with distractions. He's looking into the wrong thing. We'll drop that little punk nugget. Let's see, hold on. Nope. Nothing I want to destroy, so we'll do 1. Nothing I want to destroy there, so we'll do 2. There we go. Thank you. Oh, he's quitting. Good game. Yeah, he didn't like that. What did I tell you? Oh, I'm getting some weirdness. All right, you guys are getting this on camera. Getting some weirdness. The way he quit is causing some... Oh, the monument? I'm guessing you're talking about the Famoldi Vault? It's from that set. I don't know what set that. Oh, Monument, sorry. That's from the set no one paid attention to, which is the Racer set. Okay, so this guy did something weird. This happens a lot in ranked. Little butthurt players. In which he has done something that has gotten me stuck. So either the loss doesn't count, or he's trying to make the loss not count. But yeah, what is that? Racers of something. Hold on. We're going long, friends. Aether Drift. It's from Aether Drift. Yeah. Yeah, Sean. GameState does this, not because the program's bad, but because a lot of people do manipulative things. I think he did that thing where he unplugs and replugs and unplugs and replugs and unplugs and replugs his Ethernet cable really fast, and he's really hoping it doesn't count. And I don't care if it excuse me, if it doesn't. But, all right. We're done. We're going to call this to a close, but I think this was successful. We had a strong connection the whole time, which was good. I think the quality was pretty good. Anyone is welcome to chime in. There is a time limit to the match. This is a frozen state. He has broken the match. He quit, and he quit in a way that broke the match. So this is not normal. So we're going to call it to a close. But for anyone who wants to come out and see some fun Magic the Gathering stuff, I'm going to be... Rebe, stop it. That's my Doge. She heard my kid jumping into the shower. Okay, so let's look at my calendar. So, Saturday the 21st, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Going to be doing another one of these, and we are going to open a buttload of Final Fantasy, and we're going to be doing Final Fantasy-centric stuff. So hopefully you guys come check it out. This was just a fun test stream, so hope you enjoy it. we'll see you then. This was a relatively positive experience. I'm surprised at how smooth it went. So hopefully we can do this more. So in the meantime, thank you all. I'm going to end the stream. Peace out, homies and homettes, and we will see you next time. Cheers.